Hello and welcome back to my much maligned YouTube channel. I'm ashamed to say that I haven't uploaded a new video in, I think, over 2 months. I think I just got overwhelmed by how difficult it is to edit video. I have so much respect for amazing YouTubers and the time that they spend editing their videos. So I am promising to get better. I'm aiming for 1 YouTube video a week. Not super ambitious, but I think maybe I can do it over the next few weeks. So keep your eye on my channel. If you like what I'm doing, please hit subscribe and thumbs up the videos that you're watching. If you don't like them, thumbs down, or better yet, send me a private message and tell me how. Don't ruin it for everyone else. Today I'm doing something a little bit different with an Irish company called letsgetchecked.com, who provide discreet STI testing kits that you can take in the comfort of your own home, send off your samples and get the results online within 2 days. It's a company I was really interested in working with because this is such an important thing that not enough of us think about, not enough of us talk about, definitely, and I know that not enough of us are getting tested, and it's something that we all really need to cop on. Now there's a super easy way to do it, like so easy. You don't even need to go anywhere. You can do it at home, you can order it online, or you can walk into a pharmacy and buy it there. They'll register you then and there, and then you can pick up your kit and do it in the comfort of your own home. I'm hoping that you're going to like it and that you're going to find it helpful and informative. If you do, please tell your friends, tell everyone, share with the world. Let's start with this. When was the last time you had an STI test? How many STI tests have you had? My last STI test, embarrassingly enough, was I think about 3 years ago. So it would have been before I got with my current boyfriend while I was still with my ex. We went out for around 2 years, and then there was an also embarrassing 2-week break before I got with my current boyfriend. The simple reason I haven't had one since then is because my last one was clear. I was very careful with my ex-boyfriend. Myself and my current boyfriend have always been very safe, so it kind of felt like it was unnecessary. But actually, I think that's probably a really big mistake. I was just reading some stats about STIs, and it's really frightening. 1 in 2 people below the age of 25 will have an STI. 25% of people who have HIV have no idea that they have it. It's definitely something we need to educate ourselves on. It's something we need to be more and more aware of and to take responsibility basically for our own health. Question 2, how many STI tests have you had? I think I've probably had about 4, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of my experiences, when I had them and what it was like. The very first STI test I had was in University Hospital Galway. They offered a free service where you could come along to the clinic, I think twice a week, wait in line and just go in for a free test. I think it's a service that they also provide in St. James's Hospital and in various hospitals and clinics around the country. This may not surprise you, but I wasn't particularly embarrassed going. It's not something that I've ever seen as taboo. It's not something that I've ever seen as shameful. I think it's really weird when people kind of whisper about STI tests or kind of go, have you had one? And I'm like, I would be more embarrassed to say no than I would be to say, yeah, I've had 6. So the one I had in University Hospital Galway, it was a bit like going to get your NCT. So you went along, you sat in line, there were swabs, urine tests, and I think they also took blood. To be honest, taking blood is always the hardest part with me because I don't have very visible veins, except irritatingly on my eyelids. But nurses always have trouble finding veins in my arms. The swab is just like when you go for a smear, which you should also all be doing, and then the urine test, you just pee in a little cup. I always have a little bit of trouble getting it in the little cup. I don't know, like, am I alone? I don't think women can aim that well. Maybe some women can. Maybe that's a skill that I should be trying to hone. Anyway, that was it. Blood, urine and a smear. They checked for all of the major ones, I think chlamydia, gonorrhea, HIV, hepatitis, and I got the results back in about 10 days or 2 weeks. I think at the time, if there was bad news, they called you up and asked you to come into the clinic, and if it was good news, they told you over the phone. And I was told that I was clear, except I had a few irregular cervical cells, and that's something that I've had to keep an eye on all along when I go for cervical checks. And when I go for smears, I go about once a year, and it's just something that can happen to some women where your cells can kind of show up irregularities. It's nothing necessarily to worry about, but it can be an indicator of something along the line, so you're better off keeping an eye on it, so that's what I do. The second time I went for an STI test, it was in an STI clinic in the Well Woman on Liffey Street in Dublin. Again, it was the exact same procedure with 2 small differences. You didn't have to queue because I had an appointment time and I had to pay for it. So I went along, handed over my money, handed over my wee, and had my blood test and my smear. Again, really straightforward. And that time as well, I got the results within, I think, a week to 10 days. That was always the only issue that I had, that even though when I went along for my STI test, it wasn't that I was going, oh my God, I'm really worried I have something. I would just have been the type of person who, if I was having casual sex, sorry mom, I wanted to know that I was safe and that I was being careful and doing everything I could to keep myself protected. And no matter how careful you are, you can't protect against everything. You can't make sure that you're 100% healthy all of the time. So this is just a little insurance policy. But once I went in to have my test, I would spend the next week freaking out slightly, just kind of Googling things that I could have, Googling things that I could not know that I had. Like, it was really, really nerve-wracking. Anyway, that was all clear. Again, I had some irregular cells, but like I said, that's kind of par for the course with me. The third STI test I had was actually as a result of a man that I had had a relationship with, or kind of been casually dating, called me up and said, you know what, I just found out that I have chlamydia. And what was really funny about it was that he was really, really apologetic about it. He felt really bad, he was really embarrassed, and he kind of said, you know, I'm really sorry I put you in this position because I'm sorry to say, especially on YouTube, but we had actually had unprotected sex after a drunken night out. He was really apologetic about the kind of potential danger that he'd put me in, or the fact that he could have given me this disease without knowing it. And I thought it was really weird because I was going, you know what, this isn't your fault. Like, I could have insisted that we used condoms, you could have insisted, but there were two people doing it, there were two people responsible, and absolutely there's no weight on one person's shoulders over another. I definitely don't think that it's one person's job to provide the protection or to insist that the protection is used. You need to look after yourself, yes, and you cannot blame someone else if you don't. That time I went to my doctor. My local GP surgery does do STI tests. I think there's only one particular doctor in the practice that does it, and it's slightly more expensive than your ordinary appointment, so I think it's around 85 or 90 euro. So I had to call up, make an appointment, tell them why. And I think again that time I was really freaked out, so I went in within about 24 hours and I was like, tell me I'm okay. And everything was fine, thankfully. That was actually some kind of miracle because he definitely tested positive for chlamydia. We had had unprotected sex, and by rights I should have had chlamydia. For a lot of people, you have no idea that you have chlamydia until you get the test results, so it can be a really scary one that you're just living with and you have no idea. And my final STI test was more of a regular thing when I actually copped on and went, you know what, I need to have these on a regular basis every 2, maybe 3 years. I need to take responsibility for my sexual health and I need to make sure that I'm up to date. So I went back to my GP and had it done there. I know that I could have gone to a clinic, so I could have gone to James's and waited in line. That's a totally personal preference. I don't mind waiting in line. I don't mind being there with loads of other people. Like, there's nothing about that bothers me. It was more a time thing that I was going, you know what, I could go and I could wait for 4 hours to be seen, but I actually have loads of work to do. And because of the work I'm doing, I can afford to pay this money to my GP and go and do it that way. So that's what I chose to do. But for me, that's the only real difference. Like, I would not be embarrassed or ashamed or think it's at all taboo to go and sit in a clinic with a load of other people. Why would I? I feel like we should all be high-fiving each other going, yeah, we are responsible adults. So I am about to do my 5th STI test with all of you. So this is my kit. This is the Let's Get Checked Home STI Testing Kit. They do 3. They do the Simple 2, which tests for chlamydia and gonorrhea, the 2 most common STIs. They do the Standard 6, which tests for the 6 most common STIs. That's chlamydia, gonorrhea, HIV, syphilis, hepatitis A, and hepatitis B. And then they do the Complete 12, where you can get tested for every single thing you would get tested for in an STI clinic, along with a few extras that are actually a little bit more unusual. The kits start at €50, so the Simple 2 is €50. That includes your online registration, your testing, and then support from their nurses. So there are 2 ways to get your hands on the kits. You can order one online at letsgetchecked.com, or you can go into a pharmacy. If you order it online, it arrives through your door and you register your kit, which is what I've just done. So inside your box, you'll have your order ID and your unique ID. So those are the 2 things that you need to register online. You register it with your name and your email address, but importantly, and I think this is kind of genius, letsgetchecked.com doesn't keep any of your information, won't share it with any third parties. So this test, the fact that you took it and the results will never show up anywhere. They won't be added to your medical records. They won't show up when you're looking for insurance, which I know is one of those weird concerns that people have. And obviously very worrying that your information would be being shared, but this absolutely will not happen. So once you get your kit home, you then take the test, essentially. So the one that I'm doing for the Simple 2 is a simple urine test. I'm gonna pee in the little container and then I'm gonna send it off in the post. It's absolutely that simple. I'm gonna show you what it looks like once I figure out how to open it. Get it now. Oh, it's really small. looks like I have to pee in here. It's gonna go everywhere. Okay, so inside my kit, I have a home testing request form. This is where I fill out my name, my details, the test code is on there, and I'm also going to fill in the date that I took the sample. They ask you not to take your samples on a Friday, because then obviously if you post it on the Friday or Saturday, it's going to be sitting in the post box all weekend. So that's the only kind of constraint that you have. If you buy it on a Friday, do it on a Sunday and put it in the post first thing Monday morning. Oh, okay, so this is brilliant. This is your urine collection box. You actually pee into this box and then you pour it into the little tube. That is so much better. I was really afraid I was gonna have to pee into that little tube. So this little box has a plastic liner. You pee into it, then pour it into the tube and then send it away. It's so simple. It also comes with a prepaid envelope, so you don't have to pay for it. The test kits start at €50 for the simple 2. We go up to €120 for the standard 6, and then it's €220 for the complete 12. So there you have it. Super simple. I'm gonna go now and do my urine test. I was thinking of showing you what it looks like, but it's just gonna look like yellow liquid, and I'm probably gonna spend about 10 minutes washing my hands. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them. I'm gonna do a live Q&A on Snapchat, hopefully tomorrow. I'm gonna put details of that down below, so I can answer any questions that you might have anonymously, or we can answer them publicly and we can all share. But please do let me know what you thought of this video. If you think it bats, if you think it's a great idea, if you've been for an STI test, if you've never been for one, if you're terrified, if you're enthusiastic, let me know all of your feelings. And do tune in, because like I said, I'm going to be uploading a new video hopefully every week for the next couple of weeks. If you have any video ideas that you'd like me to do, please do let me know, because after video editing, that is the hardest part. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you enjoyed it, please subscribe. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it on Facebook, on Twitter, wherever you like. If you don't like it, thumbs down is always an option, but maybe just keep your feelings to yourself.